have a beautiful cerulean blue. This will last a lifetime, but don't get too comfortable yet because look at this. Oh, welcome. Let me put these cards aside. How can I help you? Welcome to the TCG Shop. I must inform you before we begin that we have our current Black Friday sale going on, so we have 50% off of all used items, including cards, in the shop today. So it's a great time to stop by. What can we help you with? Oh, okay. So you are needing a little bit of help with your Pokemon deck. Not a problem. It's one of our specialties, so you're in luck. Okay, what kind of deck are we? Go ahead. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. All right. Well, I can see we have a fairly straightforward deck, it looks like. Have a Ultra Pro case here. Not a bad case, but it obviously doesn't offer the premium level of protection for your cards here. So what are you looking, even before I open it up and take a look, what are you looking to have done to your deck this evening? Alright, so you'd like to have it tweaked a bit. Okay, so give it a little bit more flair. Alright, well, we can definitely do that. And with the current Black Friday sale, it's a great time to want to add a bit of pizzazz to a deck, because you can now get some of our great used holofoils for a great price. So I think you've picked the best time to visit the store. Alright, well, what era of deck do we have inside? Okay, so we have a Neo Genesis specific deck. Okay. Are you looking to keep your cards in the Neo Genesis set specifically, or will any Neo set card suffice? Okay, so any Neo card will do. Alright, we'll try to keep it Neo Genesis if possible, but if we can't, we'll mix and match some of the Neo Destiny, Neo Discovery cards like that. Alright, sounds good. Well, let's go ahead and open the deck up. Oh, you don't have card sleeves on these. I'm not obviously trying to judge or anything like that. When I see vintage cards like this, it's just bugs me a bit if I don't have card sleeves on those, so hopefully I can convince you to apply a bit of sleeve work to those this evening. So we will set your box to the side. Alright. Well, it looks like you have a full 60 card deck here. These Neo cards are just so wonderful to look back at and play if you're playing in a Neo format tournament or just free play with a friend or anything like that. So what type of activities do you primarily utilize this deck for? Okay, so you do play in a few Neo format tournaments, okay, and just with a few friends. Well, that's perfect. So you're not too concerned about it being overly meta competitive for the Neo format. Alright, so I'm just looking for a usable deck with a bit more flair and pizzazz. I'm assuming there's only one, maybe two holofoils in this deck. Okay, well, what type of budget would you like to stay in this evening? Okay, well, so you'd like to take advantage of the Black Friday sale, okay, and get some good additions. Well, that's music to my ears because we have some wonderful cards and items available. Now, I think since we do have our sale going on, I think I can really set you up with a wonderful deck. From the deck box up to the card editions. How does that sound? Perfect. Well, I'll try to keep the majority of your deck intact. I'll mix and match, add, and tweak the cards just ever so slightly, and then I will get you set up with all of the peripherals, deck box, everything from damage counters to status conditions, symbols, and we'll get you on your way with a wonderful and perfectly discounted premium deck. How does that sound? Wonderful. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and evaluate. And with the Black Friday sale, we do have free consultations for your decks. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a look and we'll just see what we're working with. So we do have one Kingdra. All right. I'm assuming that's your holofoil wonderful card there. All right. And we do have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Horsey, your traditional basic Pokemon, 4 being the customary amount. Pretty standard so far. We do have 2 Seadra. Okay. Looks like you also have 4 Totodile. A secondary basic, if I had to guess. Smart move. And going with those Totodile, we do have 2 Croconaw. Now, are you very attached to the Totodile Croconaw combination? I'm assuming that you primarily work off of your Horsey, Seadra, Kingdra evolutions, and the Totodile and Croconaw, I don't see a Feraligatr in here. I'm assuming that the Totodile and Croconaw are just some backup basic and stage 1 Pokemon in case you aren't able to draw your Horsey and Seadra, is that correct? Okay, so if I have a few tweaks involving the Croconaw specifically, is that going to be okay? Perfect. All right, and we do have 4 Mantine here. So that's actually, if I had to make a suggestion, that's actually a much better avenue to go down. There's 4 cards there, and you have 6 in total between your Totodile and Croconaw, so I might utilize those Mantine. I'm actually going to set those Croconaw to the side because I think I can do just a bit better for you there. So we do have your Mantine 4. So I can see this is a water and electric type deck. This is going to be quite interesting. We do have 2 Neogenesis Pikachu, wonderful card there. I do really like dual type decks, so I'm going to try to keep. Oh, that's interesting. Looks like you have 1 baby Pokemon Elekid here, and just 1, so I think we can probably improve that just a bit. And playing off that 1 Elekid, we do have 1 Electabuzz, so we want to make sure that we don't get too many Pokemon and evolutionary requirements in your deck. That way it's not too overcrowded and convoluted, but I think we can still make it fun and allow you to carry multiple Pokemon in your deck. We do have 4 Chinchou there, playing off that electric typing for your 4 basic Pokemon. These are your Horsey, per se, of the electric type in this deck. And with that, it looks like we are carrying 2 Lantern. Not bad. Alright, so it looks like on the electric side of things, you are mostly relying on your Chinchou and Lantern, so that's not a bad play. And onto your trainer cards, we do have 3 Moo Moo Milk, wonderful for recouping some HP, and Professor Elm and Super Rod. Curious that we do have a somewhat limited trainer pool here, so maybe that's something that we can address. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 water type energy cards, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 electric type energy cards. Okay, so I'm going to actually balance that out for you just a bit. We have 2 Croconaws that we can replace, and let's go ahead and start with 2 energy of the water variety. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and head to our storeroom here. I've got a few ideas of what I'm going to do card-wise, and I will start with the cards. If everything looks good to you, then I will go ahead and get the deck box and everything that goes along with that. Alright, so just bear with me and I'll show you kind of the direction that I'm looking to go. Okay, one moment. Alright, well, I think you're going to be pleased. I went ahead, like I said, our Black Friday sale does only cover used cards, so we are a bit limited on what we can offer, but you're in luck because I do have 4 used cards that I think will go perfectly with this deck, and then 1 card that is, I think, primarily for that flair that you were looking for. So I had that in mind when I selected these, so keep that in mind. So I did remove 2 Croconaw and 2 water energy, so I will be replacing them with 4 cards. Of course, you will keep the cards you brought with, but these will be the cards you are hopefully going to purchase this evening. So the first card that we have is an additional Elekid. Like I said, you only had 1 Elekid and 1 Electabuzz, which is not a opportune amount in order to make proper use of this Pokemon. So I did go ahead and boost your Elekid numbers from 1 to 2. Is that something that you would like? That way you can make better use of that baby Pokemon card and more frequently use your Electabuzz. Alright, excellent. So we will go ahead and add that. I'm going to go ahead and place it with your other Elekid. Alright, and now on to the Flare. I think you'll really enjoy these. So since we do have the 4 Horsey, 2 Seadra, and 1 Kingdra, I'm going to actually boost that Kingdra to 2 cards instead of 1. So that will move you to 4 Horsey, 2 Seadra, and 2 Kingdra. I just think that with a beautiful hollow foil such as Kingdra, you should have more than 1 in the deck. It's just a bit more fun to play and a bit more fun to show off as well. What do you think of that? And of course, as a 50% off Black Friday sale, it's one I wouldn't want to miss. What do you say? Excellent. I thought you might enjoy that, so we will place that with your other Kingdra here. That brings your hollow foil count up to 2, but don't get too comfortable yet because look at this. I noticed that you had 2 Pikachu in your deck, and I thought, what is a Pikachu in a deck if not for a beautiful holofoil Pichu? I noticed also that you had the baby Pokemon Elekid in the deck, and since we had already addressed it, I thought, why not add another? And since you were looking to acquire a bit of flair and pizzazz with this deck, I think an additional holofoil to go along with your Kingdra would just make all the difference. What do you think of that card? That is, yeah, that's quite a beautiful piece of art, isn't it? You'll take it. Well, I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but with a holofoil Pichu to add to your 2 existing Pikachu, I thought it was going to be an easy decision, but like I said, I have to leave it up to the player, such as yourself after all, so I'm pleased that you made such a tasteful decision. Now, since we are focused on that flair and a bit of showmanship with this deck, this last card is a bit of a wild card. But one that if you draw in midst of a heated battle, or even if you are just showing off this deck to a friend or opponent, this card is sure to stand out. And that is the Neo Discovery, mind you, holofoil Smeargle. I thought you might like that one. This holofoil Smeargle is a normal type, of course, and with the 2 colorless energy requirement for sketch, you can easily slip this into any deck, and I think it will play nicely with your water and electric type deck. What do you think? Used half off, of course. I thought you would enjoy that. It's one of my personal favorites and just a beautiful holofoil. More of a showpiece, but I think it can be quite devastating mixed with this deck, after all. Wonderful. Well, I will go ahead and place that right at the end of your card list, right after Lantern and before your trainer cards. Well, are you satisfied with your cards in this deck? Perfect. I will place your extra cards at the end on the other side of your electric energy cards. That way you know the extra cards and don't accidentally play a deck with more than 60. Okay? Well, if no further card assistance is required, then I will go retrieve the rest of your items. So just hang tight one moment and I will be right back. All right, my friend. Well, I think you will be quite pleased with the selections that I've made for you. So the first thing that I would like to address is the deck box here. I have a beautiful cerulean blue. This deck box, of course, with your water typing, will be the base of your deck and will be the first thing that any opponent, friend, or foe will see. I think, judging by the exterior of the box, your viewers will easily be able to tell that you are indeed a water type master and will be utilizing a water type deck during your battles. So I always like to utilize the color scheme or typing of your primary card in the deck for the deck box. It just, I feel like, sets a great tone and gives a nice preview of what to expect when battling you or for you utilizing your deck. It's also easy to retrieve off of a shelf and know, just based on the color of the box, what type of primary type that is of deck you will be expecting when opening it. Will the cerulean blue deck suffice for you? Wonderful. And of course, all of these items are gently and ever so slightly used, so they do qualify for the half-off sale. Excellent. So we will set that to the side. Next, as you can see, I have selected a nice electric yellow set of card sleeves. I went ahead and grabbed 70 cards for you. Just a bit extra, no extra charge, of course, just on the house in case you want to mix and match any of your cards or add any additional cards if you indeed choose to come back to the shop or unfortunately choose to shop elsewhere. But these, I thought, electric yellow cards will go nicely with your cerulean blue and will remind you instantly that while your primary cards are indeed water type, when you pop that lid off and see this striking yellow color inside, you will instantly know that an electric type card will be no surprise if drawn during play, and your opponents will be, of course, warned of the shocking results of battling you. What do you think? I thought so. Well, I will continue to keep our roll going for your coin what else but a wonderful Lugia coin, gently and ever so slightly used. As you can see, there are a few scuffs and marks here and there, but with the wonderfully crafted metallic components, this will last a lifetime. I have done the honor of placing it inside a small Ziploc pouch in order to keep it from experiencing any further scratches, so I will set that to the side. Thank you. And last but not least, I do have used damage counters, which I will show you in just a moment, and some acrylic status condition markers, both a poison and a burn. Of course, with the used items here, we don't oftentimes have them in the original packaging, which can be expected, but I assure you they are just as useful and are ready for play. What do you think? Perfect. And last but not least, like I said, I do have a full, which is rare for our used items in damage counter context, but I do have a full 6 dice set of wonderfully matching cerulean blue dice. These, of course, come in a variety of numbered dice, so you can utilize these with some of your more modern decks that have a much higher HP pool and damage capability. I thought you would enjoy the yellow numbered color here to go with your blue and yellow combinations between your deck box and card sleeves. What do you think? Perfect. Well, this has been a wonderfully enjoyable experience. I like how agreeable you are with wonderful taste. Excellent. So, if you have no further questions, I will swiftly sleeve your cards here and get all of your items packed away. No worries. Sit back, relax, and I will be done in a brief moment. All right. So I will also sleeve your extra cards just so that you do have them protected along with the remainder of your cards. So, is this your first time at the TCG Shop? No, really. You've stopped by from time to time. Well, I thank you so much for joining us and returning this evening. I hope that you are enjoying yourself. One of our most favorite activities are to not only, of course, buy and sell vintage and modern cards, but just to go through all the intricacies of the types, colors, patterns, eras, sets, and all of the items that go along with them. It's just something that I personally really enjoy. So it's always wonderful to be able to address issues with a particular deck and help a customer like you improve their Pokemon TCG experience. Just bear with me and we will have all of these sleeved in a flash. We are making our way through your energy cards first. And when and if you do draw that Smeargle card, I would steely glance at your opponent's face if I were you. It will no doubt be full of shock and surprise, and then as that look of annoyance and unexpected fear fades away, I think you'll see a shimmer of admiration and respect. Cards like that tend to draw the both ire and envy of opponents because it's, for one, very unexpected, and they are unlikely to have a strategy prepared, but it's also quite impressive to have the gumption and taste to play such an outside-the-box card, such as Smergo in this deck, but with the savvy to include a card that can be equally as useful. We always ensure to take just a bit of extra care with those hollow foils just to make sure that no harm befalls them. So, where did you acquire these cards, or are these cards from your original collection? Have you assembled this deck over the years? Really? That long? Well, it's impressive to have cards in these conditions after such a long time. I commend you for your card care, all while maintaining consistent use. It's no small feat to have cards that are routinely handled and played with such age remain in such wonderful condition. Very well done. We are approaching the end here, making our way through the Mantine and onto the Totodile. Do you have any plans for the holidays? Really? Very well. Well, I do have family close by, so it's a fairly easy season for me. Of course, in between shifts here at the card shop, which to me feels like a vacation every day because I do love my work. Alright, and the last horsey and the two mighty Kingdra. Beautiful cards, beautiful cards. Alright, and I will slip your extra sleeves in the back of the case there. We will ever so slightly apply the lid. I do like to have the items on top, so I will begin with your coin, your two status condition markers, and ever so gently applying your damage counter dice to their new home and lid. And there we are. Of course, your old deck box will remain with you, and your new deck box, new and improved, will no doubt be the envy of all your opponents and the admiration of your friends. What do you think? I'm glad to hear it. Well, joining us at the TCG Shop this evening. I do hope you return rather quickly, and if you can make it back before the end of the Black Friday sale, then I would love to give you a wonderful deal on cards again. Alright, you can see the clerk at the front desk, and she will see you on your way. Take care, my friend.